Okay, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Millennial Trades. So today's market action was just bad. I mean, the performance was horrible. It was extremely choppy. If you were trying to scalp or day trade in these markets, it was extremely difficult. And the whole day was just a mind fuck, right? But the overall trend was down. So if you caught that move correctly, and read that right, in the morning it looked like the dollar was kind of hitting its supply area. It kept coming back down, right? The bonds were going up, so everything looked pretty good for longs here. But there's a lot else going on out here. We've got the whole crypto crash and the FTX fiasco. There's the inflation coming out tomorrow. There's the midterms, which I guess didn't exactly turn out the way maybe the market thought. Honestly, I think a lot of Democrats got voted in, and the market just wasn't too excited about it. But you can't just blame the election on what's going on with the market, because there's so much going on in the macroeconomic landscape. But the dollar ended up higher. The dollar closed near its highs of day, and it just kept surging, right? It came back down from that supply zone right around the, I would call it like the 110 30 mark, 110.30, and that's kind of where the supply was, and then it just kept ripping. So markets came down. Nasdaq futures were down over 2%. S&P 500 futures down almost 3%. I mean, this is just it's not good. It's not good at all. But we got the CPI report coming in tomorrow. Like I said, I didn't think overall by the end of the week there would be a lot of movement in the stock market, and that's exactly what seems to be happening. There's not a lot of movement. We are right back where we were at I guess that would be maybe Friday's close, Monday's close, something like that, a couple days ago. And then we had a bond auction. So TLT and the bonds just start crashing because nobody's buying the bonds. So bonds came down and crashed, but then they recovered. They recovered at the end of the day, which is a good sign. As long as those bonds, the bond prices keep going up and the yields come down, that's going to be, in my opinion, good for the stock market. As far as trading goes, I did put on kind of an overnight trade, anticipating maybe some bullish momentum into the CPI report, or maybe some bullish momentum as a reaction from the midterms. This is the other thing too. The market didn't really react. I mean, it was overall trended down, right? But there wasn't like this. It's hard to explain. You got to just look at the charts. I mean, it was extremely choppy. There were a couple moments where there was some, downward momentum, but it just kept popping back up. I mean, you're talking about the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 kept popping back up, coming back down, popping back up, coming back down. And I don't even know if the market has actually reacted yet completely to some of these events that are coming up. But just some of the headlines here, right? U.S. stocks sell-off accelerates, right? It seems as if there's no hope in the market. I mean, if you looked at Amazon and Tesla, I mean, these stocks just can't find bottoms right now. Amazon would have been a great trade. I should have taken it. It looked perfect. The setup was perfect. It broke its pre-market low. I should have taken it short pretty much at the open, and I didn't, which I regret. But we can't catch them all. U.S. mortgage applications fall for the 7th week, so people are not applying for mortgages. Is this because of the high interest rates or because of the price of the homes? I know Dave Ramsey has been basically saying that you shouldn't be waiting around. Ooh, I got a button. You shouldn't be waiting around for interest rates to come down. You should just be focused on the price of the house, right? Because the interest rates, I suppose you can refinance those after a few years. But moving on, you have the crypto sell-off continuing. Bitcoin hovering around the $17,000 level. I believe it's going lower. Then you have the FTX insolvency issues. I'll get into that in a couple of minutes here. European stocks lower. You got oil down as well, which is kind of good. You want to see oil and commodities come down if there's going to be any hope for a couple of green days at the end of the week here or going into next week. Commodities, you had silver down, but about 1.5%. But silver's up at $21 an ounce now, the paper price. You've got gold back up at $1,700. who knows? I mean, it's not really until gold hits 2,500 or 3,000. What is there to really talk about? But I could be wrong about that. So yeah, you have wheat down almost 2.5%, coal down as well. You've got Brent, crude, natural gas, all of these things down almost. Gasoline, heating oil, almost down 4% today. So we want to see that. But winter is coming. The demand for some of these energy sources is going to grow, and it could get a little sticky out there. So, we talked about the overall economy, I think. Now we've got the bonds. I want to hit the bonds a little bit. The bonds are kind of locked right now. They're not really the price action, coming down, coming back up. It's so hard to tell right now what we're going to do in the bond market. I mean, if I look at the daily chart here for TLT, it looks almost like a double bottom, like it could be a double bottom, but there's no way to prove these things until they actually pan out. So, I mean, I kind of like the chart. I don't like the dying volume right now on today's, underneath today's candle, but, the bonds closed green, but you have, like a headline from Market Watch, bond market sees gridlock in Washington even before midterm election results roll in, traders say. So again, just a lot of volatility both ways, not just in the stock market. And the media keeps saying it will take many more hours, maybe even days to get the final results of today's election. I feel like this is kind of something new in the last, 4, maybe 8 years that we've heard a lot is that, it takes, so many weeks to get the results of these elections. And one wonders because I don't remember reading or hearing about that a lot back when I was voting for Obama and, back in 2008 or 2012. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've always said that. Maybe they've always promoted the idea that that these ballots take so long to count. I think a lot of it has to do with the mail-in ballots, and with the mail-in ballots, it's like that was for the emergency, and now that the emergency is over, but we're still doing a hell of mail-in ballots that conveniently are skewed towards the Democrats. You really can't make this stuff up. But Market Watch says financial markets were assessing a multitude of likely consequences if Republicans take the House, the Senate, or both, such as the risk of a renewed fight over the debt ceiling. So this is a good thing if, things haven't panned out completely yet, but if there's any gains there, we could kind of, there might be some leverage there with, with the Republicans to fight the debt ceiling, right? Raising the debt ceiling. That would be a good thing. Democrats currently hold a slim House majority and control the Senate through a tie-breaking vote of President Vice Kamala Harris. So we don't know. Maybe this doesn't work out here, but it doesn't look like it's panning out the way I guess a lot of people thought so. And maybe, who knows? Maybe they were kind of putting this out here to drum up support. I really do think the mainstream media is directly involved in swaying the elections their way. I mean, you can just tell by the way they talk. And for me, it just seems odd that the media, right? This is where we get our results from for the election. We go to vote, and then the media tells us who won. To me, it's a very I wonder. It makes a guy like me wonder. And, we're constantly just being told, just like even CNN yesterday, I think I have a clip of this on Instagram. CNN's like, trust us, trust a news source that's trustworthy. If you have any questions about, voting or are the votes getting counted, or if there's, issues with the ballots, they were like, just watch CNN. We'll have the information for you. And it's like, it's just interesting. I think that the media is the one that calls these things. The media is where we get the results from. And it just seems a little corrupt, if I may say. I don't want to get conspiratorial here, but I just don't like the mainstream media, as you can tell. So let's move on here. The Boston Fed president, Eric Rosengren, says the U.S. headed for a mild recession in 2023. These headlines are kind of getting redundant now, but the real recession, even though many people are feeling it, the real one hasn't hit yet. And I keep talking about this, but the lag effect of the rate hikes going into 2023, and depending on how long they keep, how high they keep them for how long, we're looking at another possible year of these kind of market conditions. Bear markets, overall declines. I think these tech stocks could decline further. I mean, you see these stocks, some of them are down like 95%, 85%. And you just say to yourself, they can't go any lower, right? I mean, if a stock is down 95%, how much worse could it get? And then you buy it. And then in the overnight session or the pre-market, it's down 20%. So we could be dealing with this for a long time. But the Federal Reserve seems to be prepping us for the idea that we are going to be broke, poor, and suffering. And I think as long as there's not a lot of overall panic about it, as long as I guess the American people are able to absorb the effects of these high interest rates and the crashing markets and the dying economy and the supply chain issues, as long as Americans are able to somewhat absorb that and there's not mass panic in the streets or rioting or something, I don't think the Fed really cares. I think the Fed is going to continue this, aggressive and unrelenting interest rate hike process. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt all of us for a while. Talking about a couple of stocks here. I mean, Disney came in with their financials, their earnings, horrible. I mean, just absolutely horrible. Disney just is crashing. So that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all. I've been trying to follow a little bit more about PayPal. PayPal kind of beat its earnings, but the growth in the revenue going into 2023, these guidance numbers, it doesn't look too good. It doesn't look too good at all. And you look at a lot of these companies like Affirm, and there was another one that came out with earnings recently, and they're just not doing well at all. Some of these fintech companies. And, then you have the fintech companies are attached to the crypto in a lot of ways, right? They all have some sort of exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins as well. And then we have this whole, thing going down, this fiasco with FTX. The CEO, Sam Bankman, lost 94% of his wealth. He was a billionaire yesterday or like 2 days ago, and he wakes up the next day and he's worth a fraction of that. 94% of his wealth, just wiped out because FTX is going through. They basically shut down, to my understanding, they shut down their servers today. And some other company, I think it's Binance, is going to try to buy them for pennies on the dollar. And you've got stars like NFL stars like Tom Brady mixed up in all of this. These guys had a lot of money apparently in FTX. NFL legend Tom Brady caught in FTX fallout, risks losing complete strategic investment. And it's just such an unregulated world out there, such an unregulated industry for crypto. And, could this be like some huge fallout? Because we don't know behind the scenes who has exposure to FTX or any of the coins on there. And, if they're completely insolvent and basically going under and some other companies coming and buying them out, who knows behind the scenes somebody's holding the bag on this. Somebody is holding the bag. And, we won't know until more information comes out, but potentially the effect on the market from this FTX fallout, it could be severe. Let's hope not, but it could be. So yeah, the midterms, I won't get into all of it, but you had, Whitmer won re-election in Michigan. You had Tim Ryan, Democrat, actually lost in Ohio to his Republican opponent. Can't remember the guy's name. Then you have Sarah Huckabee Sanders winning the governorship, I think in Arkansas. Sarah Palin in Alaska lost to some Democrat. She lost by a huge margin to some Democrat up there in Alaska. And you have Newsom securing his governorship in California. Ron DeSantis' big win in Florida. A lot of people are saying that this, at least the leftist media is saying that this was a Ron DeSantis win, a win for him and a huge loss for Trump. We'll have to see how this sort of political rivalry pans out. But it seems like the media really wants to kind of, brush the flames of this I guess you could call it drama or rivalry between President Trump and Ron DeSantis. But hopefully it's all in good fun and we figure out, who's going to be the leader of the Republican Party. Donald Trump is going to make an announcement. And I think next week or something. How long is this video? So this video is getting really long. Couple more things to talk about here. Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk and the whole Twitter thing. We talked about in I think the video yesterday, he sold billions of dollars worth of stock. I think $4 billion worth of Tesla stock Elon Musk sold. So that's the reason Tesla's down like 30% in the last week or so. And it just keeps crashing. He's probably selling more right now as we speak. And the markets are still open. It's 540. But Twitter files paperwork to enter payments business. And the reason I want to hit this one real quick before we wrap up is because I've heard Elon Musk on a video talk about WeChat in China and how awesome WeChat is. Okay? Because WeChat, you can do everything. Video calls, text, phone calls. You can upload videos. You could kind of like tweet on there. There's public pages. You can pay for things. You can watch movies. You can do all kinds of things on WeChat. And the crazy thing about WeChat is their user base it dwarfs our population here in America. He's got like 1 billion people on WeChat. But Elon Musk is a big fan of WeChat, and I think what he wants to do is try to make like a WeChat type of thing here in America. I think that could be his long-term goal here. Why he wants to do this, I'm not really sure. But anyways, so that's pretty much what I got for today, guys. That's what I'm looking at. That's some of the most important events that I saw out there. If I missed anything, please comment down below. Give the video a like and follow me on Instagram at Millennial Trades. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Until next time, I'll see you on the next video.